It's never gonna stay still.
My man right here, this Pimp Key, you already know. I'm back in the building. Y'all already know RTC, you know what I'm saying? My nigga promoter like me, we promote, you know what I'm saying? Like what, you know.
Yeah, Mr. CeeLo, you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Mr. CeeLo with Alberto Javaz Entertainment, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here representing West Side, Southwest Side, you know what I'm saying? Highway 6, Fort Bend, you know what I'm saying? Southwest all the way to the Clark, you know what I'm saying? South Main, all of that shit, you know what I'm saying? That's how we do it. 290 in Little York, all of that 290 route, you know what I'm saying? Katy, Fried Road, Mason Road. Everybody knows it's around that park, you know what I'm saying? And it goes on and on. But you know what I'm saying, the whole thing that I'm saying is I represent out here at the Avani, man. It's got to be a new wave of artists, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of these clubs ain't taking the time to motherfucking promote new talent, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm out here with the RTC family, you know what I'm saying, Round Table Committee, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because it's a new wave, man. You know what I'm saying? The Kikis are getting to the age of 40, you know what I'm saying? The Powwows is getting fat, slim, you know what I'm saying? They don't even know what they want to be no more, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Niggas getting money, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? They already made their money, so it's got to be a new wave of artists, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So support your local talent, you know what I'm saying? Support your local talent and support the clubs that are helping local talent come up, you know what I'm saying? Like the Avani Lounge, you know what I'm saying? 100, man, keep it real, you know what I'm saying? Don't talk about it, be about it. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up.
I vouch for that, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna salute all the real niggas, you know what I'm saying? My nigga Josh is working the camera, you know what I'm saying? I'm working the Ciroc. Did you get your cup?
Yeah.
I know what you like to smoke, you know what I'm saying? Celebrity Key, you know what I'm saying? That's my new name, Celebrity Key. We about to roll up, man. We gonna keep it on the low, though. I'm gonna get off the camera for now. We got some nice eye candy coming later. All right, Josh.
What the fuck y'all doing? Make some motherfucking noise for R&B. That's what's up. Avani Lounge every Friday, Saturday night. Come on, let Mr. CeeLo. Alberto Javaz Entertainment. You know how we do it, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't home. Hold on. Yo, E-Lo, give me your opening act, man. I need them on stage right now. But first up, you know what I'm talking about? Yo, hey. The Southwest is in here, Gunners is in here, Street Squad is in here, ROTC is off in this joint. Man, y'all ain't know what this is, we on stage with this thing. Southwest Shootout, the DVD is in the stores right now, in the swag shop. Check out the website. Where we on? Alright. Hey, let's set these bitch over one time, man. We lost the core. Yeah. Just put a slab out on it, baby. Alright. That ain't me. Oh, you Yeah, hold on, man. It's home in the building. Shout out to my nigga A-Day. R&B, good game, you know what I'm saying? Already. Southwest in the building, stand up, you know what I'm saying? It's home in the mix, holla at your boy. Let's go! Now I'm slipping down the avenue. Haters giving attitude. Stone chunking up that juice. Sideways on his juice. Next city stocky like a full trophy. 65 in the 30, you better move on quick. Yeah, I see him for the cut. Sitting chicken, make it red. Hit the cut and point the truck. He put a Chevy, turn some heads. Straight up out of Texas, homie Houston, all the fingers on. Southwest, Fort Park, now I'm all up in that boat. 22, 34, 518, now we just swerving on and off the field. Rolling green stands the heater, 16 flies, slide by the line. Checking throw back set, I'm talking dead in the line. Keys nut, hell there, Cincinnati, West Belford, West State of South Main, the laws have to be careful. R.I.P. to Pimp C, that's how we do it off in Texas. Any questions come and see. Yeah. Flipping down the avenue. My dogs and my locs keep their foes on post. And when you let the time stand, you can see all the smoke. This game stupid, homie, we can real loud. I'm doing circles in the drunk and I just keep in the prayer. 5945, I 10, 288, 290, the highway 6. Who wanna hate? Try to get a couple racks, my nigga keep up in pack. From Fontaine to Gold Bank, T-Wheel to Iraq. Running back to the money like 100-yard days. And Twan counting cold on days. Who ain't in the sea today? I fuck a D up on the dumb and better check my resume. Got some partners in the train, they be riding on threes. Fight fame to TG, haters do what they please. H-Time, Houston, Texas, home 713. Space City on the Memphis, a home of the G's. Flipping down the avenue. Yeah. Shout out to my nigga AJ, MIP, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Bill, I see you, Bill. Fuck with your boy. Yeah, Southwest.
Stand up, motherfucker, stand up. This is the grown and sexy spot, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta worry about no paying for fucking nights. You ain't gotta worry about motherfuckers getting too drunk in this motherfucker. You see everybody in this motherfucker trying to do some shit. Nobody loud, you know what I'm saying? Alberto Javaz Entertainment, RTC, Round Table Committee, let's go. Round Table Committee on the building. Hey, stop with the shooters. Hey, y'all niggas pay attention. What's up? What's up? Hey, we in here. Let's go. Southwest Shootout, we off in here. The Southwest is off in here. Y'all know what it is, man. The West thing is the best thing, man. Y'all niggas fake like championship wrestling. We off in here, man. ROTC is off in here. Crime Mob is off in here. We in here. DJ, I need my music. Let's go. Yeah, we go. Stay real quick. Look, if you walk right, look, I'm walk right. Look, if you walk right, look, I'm walk. That's not it. That's it right there. With the music, that's not it. We in here though, it ain't nothing. I do it. We in front of everybody. I ain't never been scared to do it. That's what's good about the Atlanta Lounge. We get it to you raw, in your motherfucking face. When you come to the Atlanta Lounge, we get to know you on a personal level. We might fuck up on the sound system. We might give you some, but fuck. Just like the motherfucking switches, they gon' get rolled up and smoked up, you know what I'm saying? We gon' give you a show no matter what. We might fuck it up once or twice, but you know what I'm saying? We gon' do it. You know what I'm saying? Round Table Committee, let's go. It's the game over if you ever try to play me. I ain't really dead, why these niggas wanna slay me? Don't you niggas know I bring the key down to feed ya? Rap warfare, my nigga, lead after lead. G to the R, you put the G after E. You don't need child support for you to see masses bleed. All you gotta do is pull out the black mama. Point your shoe and execute the revolution. That's awesome, that's orange. Niggas practice, niggas sing song with it, yeah. Real rap, bitch, you can't call with it. Small King Kong with it, with the rhymes. Let's get the ball King Kong with it, with the rhymes. They bitches ball King Kong with it. Shoot the small Kong gang, big figures. With the rhymes. Sick with the small King Kong with it, with the cars. Let's get the ball King Kong with it, with the girls. Sick bitches ball King Kong with it. Shoot the small Kong gang, big figures. Hey, why you always call me monkey though? That's okay, all the white girls think I'm monkey. I'm not see on the scene with the Pompios. Drop show my ass on a donkey, yo. My club getting cold with it, yeah. Ass so with it, let's go, no with it. Rock don't give it if you're not cool with it. Grab the pie, 2 biscuits, eat your food, you finish it. Please excuse yourself from the day, yeah. Not Comcast, but I disconnect the game. I take your head and play ping pong with it, go. Grill that bitch, we getting cold with it. Yeah. And we the hottest in this house. You got about it now, they survive and going everywhere. Say the hot fight, but you could probably catch a man and fuck around. I'll leave your body in the ground. Have your mom sing that house leaders to sound. Watch your son fall, yes, he felt the heat from the ground. You lost like it's always decomposing. The phones, all the girls, they get close. Make your homes in the cars, yes. I don't drive a Ford, but that 2 packs is on fresh. The shells take the air, ball, the trash, trouble, origins. Came to death, play the West, get with it, get with it. Let's get it, yes, I can't call with it. With the wild, sick, living sport, can't call with it. With some cars, let's get the ball, can't call with it. With some girls, big bitches, ball, can't call with it. Shoot this ball, gun, can't big hitters. With the wild, sick, living sport, can't call with it. With some cars, let's get the ball, can't call with it. With some girls, big bitches, ball, can't call with it. Shoot this ball, gun, can't big hitters. Let's go. Yeah, we just warming up on you niggas real quick.
Give it up to you. Come by, man.
Hey,
Them niggas get on their
we
feet.
just warming up on you niggas real quick. Y'all,
Girl gone wild. Girl gone wild in this bitch, huh? Girl gone wild. Titties and ass. We finna steal the car. Hold on, they finna really be pissed off. We gonna stop that shit. Listen, get the wild girls out. I'll bring them back in, let them do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Gotta have some fun. You know what I'm saying?
Hey yo, RTC, everyday people, whoever is in this motherfucking building that just started that shit, if you know them, get them motherfuckers. It's going down, baby, RTC, we in here, man.
Hold up, not yet, man. We need everybody to the front of the stage, man. RTC in the building,
Everybody
man.
to the front of the stage. If you like your channel and you like beautiful modes,
You know what I'm saying?
come to the front of the stage.
Yeah, no. We need Crime Mob out to the front of the stage, man. We need the Breezes to the front of the stage. We need A-Day and the Click is already here. I see you, baby. Respect that to the full. A-Day got the video release party jumping off this evening. You dig what I'm saying? Hey, my man, hey, motherfucking, we singing in the motherfucking building, man. It is what it is, man. Yo,
What up?
DJ, run that shit, man. Yeah. You look a stripper, nigga.
People interfere with how my family eat. You ready so big, man, you rest in peace. Until I make my own plate, then I spin the feast. But on the table, every week, at first we practice to the sea. But I want a lot of records. I'm right for everything, and I can see. See what I had to do to the kid on me. I just want to be a man for the savage beats. No boys keep destiny in these streets. Like they really don't know my history. All that was just history. It really ain't part of my entity. Once a gem, don't always be. You like me, I do what I do without me. Still got the black one, you can catch me. That's what you're ready, I can see out the edges. We don't ride, but you take it cold. Nigga thought I was a hoe. Just gon' let this shit go. But nigga, you so right. Tell me if you won't. But I advise you don't. That's why you're probably wrong. But nigga, you so right. Everything, why you put you trying to shake the dice? The price to be your life. But nigga, you so right. And you know what lane, and I take it out the game. I ain't trying to give it, I can't stay right.
Last show of the evening, man. We jumping out the trap house, you dig what I'm saying? Video coming real soon, you dig? Get it out, about every minute, man. Real life in this bitch. Let me show you one time. Hey, look, we got the trap house jumping. We out bumping, 2 strikes on the road, so fuck it, I'm still on
niggas fall in line. Real niggas stay on your credit. You tell it all the time. Rap hop jumping, we hop bumping, 2 strikes on the road. Fuck it, I'm still hustling. I'm the real since the get-go. Hustling and get both. 2 rest on the wild. Fuck it, I'm getting no rap hop jumping. We hop bumping, 2 strikes on the road. Fuck it, I'm still hustling. I'm the real since the get-go. Hustling and get both. 2 rest on the wild. Jumping, keep the clips coming. Phone ringing all the time, bet it's not money. No more swag, that's a bold man's dream. Some of these things got me living like a king. Half plus, half green. I'm talking about cash. I'm in the beach, yeah, over that's a bad. 2-time veteran, still on my grind. Tell her how to pay me, or pay me no high. Gotta pay me for my time, gotta pay it in the ride. Fuck this in the beach, got my money on my mind. Working overtime, got the traveling suspicion. Too much traffic and they got my ass evicted. Brand new spot, I'm a bump till it's hot. Got weed by the crowd, funny smokers got the watch. Got stacks in the shoebox, AKs, 2 Glocks. Over to his phone, run a side, if you want a shot. We out bumping, 2 strikes on the road. Fuck it, I'm still hustling, I've been real since the get-go. Hustling to get most, no prices soaring too high. Fuck it, we get low, rap hop jumping. We out bumping, 2 strikes on the road. Fuck it, I'm still hustling, I've been real since the get-go. Hustling to get most, no prices soaring too high. Fuck it, we get low. Remember when the cocaine game wasn't a straight game? Now we crossing over the leg, we call it gangrene. Fuck it, though, we already fed, so we gon' maintain. All our homies stacking this bread, they on the same day. We pushing powder like the cops never saw that. Riding steady, cooking like a pot full of collard greens, spot full of Charlie Sheen. Settle it ain't gon' work. Got the trap jumping like a crisscross concert. No fear of jackets, we like how you gonna get it with me. We got these dudes guarding our water like they're no minute. Up weed, ecstasy pills, and hallucinogens. See me at the trap when you niggas ready to sit again. I get it in my friend, nothing's gonna change that. So you ain't trying to roll with a nigga, get out the way, yeah. I'm getting paid, yeah. All the product bumping and everybody eating your beef because they know that the trap house jumping. We out bumping, 2 strikes on the road. Fuck it, I'm still hustling. I've been real since the get-go. Hustling to get low. Strike prices soar too high. Fucking we get low. Man, we got a real special treat, special guest. My man A-Day got a video release party. We finna play it on the screen, man. Ball out one time for you niggas, man. Matter of fact, a round of drinks on you. Get up. Hold up. It's just a roll of people like that.
Place you up near, feel like I've been crucified like Jesus.
Like, they ain't really allowed to stuff out like
Moved from over here last year.
and tell me 20%
Say no. Say no. Remember Mr. Harrison's being here in the 90s? What? The barbershop, Mr. Harrison's. You remember that being here in the 90s?
It's been there since the east side.
I remember they had right here. They wanted that. They told me mine of them
This still is long too. No way. I got locked up.
Probably around that time. 96, 97, I was
spot right there.
Yeah.
jacking and robbing, stealing and killing. Don't ask me about these drugs I'm dealing. Keep your 2 cents in your opinion. Here's my shoes. Can you feel them? And if not, won't you mind your business? Heaven, hallowed be thy name. I know you seem to do some strange things to obtain change. I try to change and lead the game. I don't know how many times I've applied for 9 to 5, but can't get high with pride. Too much pride to ask for help. Feel like my pain ain't felt by no one else. Can't cry about the hand I was dealt. Must fend for myself. The altar's the only place where I've knelt. Feel like I've been crucified like Jesus. My back's covered with webs. I won't yell. If I shed a tear, then don't mistake it for fear. It's just that I'm thankful for after everything that I'm still here. Lost plenty of peers, but I feel it's keeping me from a better purpose. But I gotta earn it, can't have it now cause I don't deserve it. But I ain't worthless, a valuable piece of the puzzle, but can't stay out of trouble. Cause you run it with the ball and I fumble. I know it's a sin to hustle, but when the rest do what I'm supposed to do, I know, put my faith in you and you see me through. Yeah, man, come and get the
Yeah, why not?
This AC definitely working. Give me ice cream right now.
Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? I feel like wearing some fake jewelry today. I might buy them out.
Stupid.
Just ball out some video one time, man. Wait. Put a gun to my face, man. He robbed me right.
Somebody coming in. I mean, it's daytime.
Oh no, Gracie, I'm finna get him.
Come in. Right. That's it.
Hey, yo, give me a house second, man. They about to turn this camera off, you dig?
Hey,
You got it, drop it?
Your opinions is my shoes. Can you feel them? And if not, won't you mind your business?
Traumatized, please don't come inside. Cause you can see this ain't the place for civilians. That's why we see the straight in the face of our children. So if you on the block without a host, better boogie fans. Worse things in the dark than the ghosts in the boogie man scrambling. We turn to villains, jacking and robbing, stealing and killing. Don't ask me about these drugs I'm dealing. Your 2 cents and your opinions is my shoes.
No.
Mind your business.
How does your fat bitch
Your 2 cents and your opinions is my shoes. Can you feel them? And if not, won't you mind your business?
Get it. Yeah, no. All right, you know that, baby.
Traffic light, you know about that?
Sure.
Alright, we straight. We about pumping. Straight. We need
In the Christian game, you know, niggas been trying to act grimy, you know, we can't just let nobody just do you like that, you know what I'm saying?
Everywhere, I don't care what you're doing. Every phase of their life, you're gonna have, you know what I'm saying?
I feel as soon as we broke, you know what I'm saying?
Alright, what's the verdict on that?
Do one more.
You want to do that one?
Yeah, redo that one. Redo that one.
Nah, shit, what? We're going to turn around.
And with the conditions we're given, this ain't living in hardly a place to raise our children. They wonder why we turn to villain, jacking and robbing, stealing and killing. Don't ask me about these drugs I'm dealing. Keep your 2 cents and your opinions. Here's my shoe, see, can you feel them? And if not, won't you mind your business?
You want to hear that?
Appreciate it, y'all. Keep your 2 cents and your opinions. Here's my shoe, see, can you feel them? And if not, won't you mind your business?
Stack it. Stack it.
Yeah, you got to stack it anyway.
This next one put a little bit more harmony on this next one.
I think I threw that shit away.
Don't worry about it. Put some back, baby.
Y'all trying to get that shit hot?
Simply chill. Lemonade is cold.
And with the conditions we're given, this ain't living in hardly a place to raise our children. They wonder why we turn to villains, jacking and robbing, stealing and killing. Don't ask me about these drugs I'm dealing. Keep your 2 cents and your opinions. Here's my shoe, see, can you feel them? And if not, won't you mind your business?
Oh, he was up there. Oh, he over there. Oh, okay, he over there. He rocks. You rocking there? You rock up here today?
It's actually Devin's room now.
Oh, Devin took it over now. Yeah. So Rock ain't doing it no more. Okay.
And he's around all the time. You know? That's what Devin's pretty.
Yeah.
You can call your peoples, call your little rap group, call your little promoters. The show's over.
All right, do it one more time. Read. I'm gonna get your face and his face. Hey, one of y'all can hold this. I just want to get a.
You know, I give my camera game.
I love to do this one right here. I'm gonna do
right here.
Yeah, just hold this one. Kind of like getting a T and read shoulder.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do T face.
I want to have a center in the middle square, right?
Yeah. Kind of like just where you get them.
Yeah, be right there, just focused on him a little bit.
And I'm just gonna get your face.
Throw that.
Okay, I got you. We can fucking smack shit out this thing.
Yeah, that's it.
Recording? Yeah, it's recording right now.
Okay, cool.
We good.
So I'm gonna ask you one more time, man. You said you don't know who Philippe is. I'm gonna try a better one.
Never heard of him.
Who the fuck is KK?
Who?
So you don't know who KK is?
Nah, man. I don't even know where y'all coming up with this shit, man. What y'all want to know about me,
Who's
y'all
Elo?
asking me about all these
I'm
people.
asking the motherfucking
What about
questions
me?
right now. Hey, I'm asking the motherfucking questions right now.
Get your shit together,
Who
man.
the fuck is Elo?
I don't know. Don't you ask him, man. I don't know who he is. I never heard of none of these
Real
people,
tough guy, huh? Real tough guy. Where'd you get the scar? How'd you get the scar, huh?
Man, you know shit happens. Shit happens.
Real good actor.
I'm just saying,
Real
man.
good actor.
I'm just saying. Hey, you know what, man? I think it's about time I call my lawyer, man.
Hey, you do that. Cause you gonna need him.
Okay.
You gonna need your lawyer.
Okay. Okay.
You gonna need your lawyer.
Matter of fact, is we done here, man?
Nah, we ain't done here. You finna be here. Matter of fact, I'm finna send your little black ass down to processing. Okay? I'm finna send you over there. You finna be here. And I'm gonna have you walk through some lineups. Maybe some old lady that comes in here, maybe you was the one that mugged her. Maybe she might say it was you. What's the chances of that, huh? Black male in a white tee with a red Houston hat on mugged her.
You a real funny guy, man.
Maybe it was you.
Funny guy. Hey, you know what? I tell you.
Because what we picked you up at was in the vicinity of a couple things that happened. So I tell you what, you don't know nothing. We're gonna see what some of these eyewitnesses know, and maybe you done some shit, man. Who knows? Maybe you carjacked somebody today.
Okay, well look, I tell you what. Can you get me to my flow before child time, man? I'm hungry.
Real wise guy, huh? Real wise guy.
Love, man, coming out here. He won't be making this possible, y'all, man. Y'all put y'all hand together, man. Real time. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. We finna have some fun first. I ain't gonna just come up here and just rap and just sit around this motherfucker. You know, hold on, take this shit out. Hold it for me, hold it. You know, T-Roy, what's up, Pimpin'? That's my manager right there. What's up, Pimpin'? Hey. Listen, like I was saying, we just bought a radio station. Get with me. We report the PDS, y'all can get y'all music on the radio station. We do the same shit like 97.9. You get your spins and all that shit. Let's have a little fun right quick, man. Crank that shit up right quick. Y'all remember this shit right now? Hey, what's up? Hey. If you bought pride, you're a home boy. If you bought pride, you're a home boy. Yeah, you bought pride. When you bought pride. If you bought pride.
Damn movement out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's all about the group. Killing ourselves, straight on having this glorious wealth. Plus that's what niggas is all that blood up and destroying their health. Mixing with family and friends, having a house full of beings. The materialism of being real in this man, what is it mean? I see niggas close get cut, no prisons open up. Power I'm serving this product and niggas is saying my cover be cut. Niggas got families to feed, niggas can't handle these streets. Diamonds and pull up behind us and this nigga here trying to act like a police. Dirty shit, I can't get out of this bitch. I handle it over my property, got on my system and caught on my bliss. I heard it so open the arms, all in my coat and my palms. The DA found out I'm on paper and they found a motion to fuck up my bones. The police is over these roads, niggas can fuck with these hoes. These motherfuckers don't end up home, it's been on the top of the coke in his nose. Niggas they focus on bitch, these niggas don't know what it is. I'm trusting the moments and hurting the fellas, so I ain't got know what it is. The business of crime, Scully got sentenced to 9. You want me to handle this work so that when he gets out, he can finish his grind. Cause niggas ain't selling his debts, cause niggas ain't letting me rest. Cause bitches out run up and negative coming at me when their pregnancy tests off stress. And that's how I'm gonna turn that off, you dig? Nigga, what you trippin' for? Back when I was in the top, mama used to send me with food stamps to hit the stove. Used to be in Paris, now I cherish the moments. It's still a grind with me, it's still I've been on it. Mama stressing over light bill, phone bill, rent too. Used to ask my father for the shit my mama went through. 14, trying to be the man of the house, but now knowing how, shipping out on grams to the house. Yeah, no, someone really is, cause my mama started tripping, want me out of a crib. Gotta keep it old like I play birds. I'm living comfortable. Soon I have to struggle with my ball legs and comfortable. These hoes like I play birds. Yeah, I have to struggle with my ball legs and comfortable. These hoes like I play birds. Soon I have to struggle with my ball legs and comfortable. These hoes like I play birds. Soon I have to struggle with my ball legs and comfortable. Hey, it's getting hard like the motherfucker. You can't work yourself with me hard. I ain't been the same since I saw my first stone. Since you did the fast paper, we grind till we own. A young nigga blind, they keep on skipping school, drinking liquor, fucking hoes. I get the zone, and that work took me far away from home. I'm slipping 8 years for a motherfucking zone. On my own, like I can't do. I ain't tripping on, that's a damn cool. My niggas say, you ain't trying to let the bitches handle you. Taking off like no sweat. You in the middle like I'm so blessed. Now what a dope, man!
Good time. Hold on. This was trappers right here. This was a go-getter right here.
Bumping out the trap house.
Shining. I got a $99 special.
Bumping out the trap house.
$99 special.
Bumping out the trap house.
Sold in the phone.
Now I really got a trap house.
Sold in the phone.
Now I really got a trap house.
Fuck with me.
I got that word for G. California crying weed. I'm trying to keep everything you need.
And quality, that's a guarantee.
Guarantee, nigga.
Shit, if you fuck with me, you know what it is. I keep that deck with me. Baby, I'm winning, you should bet with me.
Yeah, nigga, big keys.
$99 special.
Bumping out the trap house.
7
Never blow your back out.
President of the USA
In the black house.
Could've been a lawyer, but I chose to go to crack round. Locked in the pins in my time, let them back out. Really on your grind, let me see you pull a stack out. Studio, killer flow, mic just black out. Back to the tracks of the crack at the trap house. Sack
at the sack get sold at the trap house. Blood at the blood get blood at the trap house. Bring them nosy assholes to the trap house. Man, can we do my goals at the trap house? $99 special, bumping at the trap house. $99 special, bumping at the trap house. Now I really got a trap house. Now I really got a trap house. I got that work for cheese. I got that California chronic weed. I try to keep everything you need. And quality, that's a guarantee. Guarantee, baby. If you fuck with me, come out of here and take with me. Baby, you're ready, you should bear with me. Get out, you see, bitch. Shut up, bitch. Let's go. Disgrace in the face of our children. So if you on the block without a host, better boogie than the first things in the dark, then the ghost and the boogie man. Scram, nigga. Yeah.
score like we fight instead of fight for it. I'm with each other day and actually think I'm getting bored. I'm gonna be with other legs when you the mother of my man. Like you trying to make me go back to this hard rock. But my ears are playing 60 like a dinosaur. You think I'm trying to do you dirty like a reservoir. You always know my whereabouts, shit is steady having doubts. Cause you know these walls work when it's all yours. But how I look around with some cold sores. Always in that a disease there's a cure for. I have explained to my kids why I'm staying where they live. But I still love the shit out of that commodore. On the club I can do without you drumming on. Still in trouble for some shit out there ain't comical. Until she go to let it go, get it, got it, get the go. Where you go and let it go for some school clothes.
I inhale and drove to my lungs slow. I got 99 problems, not one is a dumb hoe. If it ain't about that paper, what the fuck did you come for? You ain't ready to shoot a nigga, what you reach for that gun for? Y'all pussy niggas make me sick. Every time that you mention my name, hope it tastes like dick. I wanna shoot you,
But shit, why waste my clip when I can stomp the shit out you, make you taste my gift? You think I slip, but I'm strapped and you can't imagine how that thing fit perfect when my pants are saggy and I smell like weed and my eyes is red, but I still see clearly, got my eyes on the bread. No surprise for the Fed, cause I live like they watching me. No get out of jail free, call like Monopoly. So my business make sure it's handled properly. I'm still on parole like Siegel on state property. 1 foot in, got 1 foot out, but still hold it down for swap. What your hood about? Mine's is money macking and murder. Now tell me what yours is. I came up the nappy head poor kid. Now I'm a little older, trying to even the score. Get money too big for stats, gotta put it in stories. Fuck a bulletproof vest. When I aim for your forehead, bullets coming out the cake. Look like miniature warheads. Ain't no use in bad work if you ain't trying to score big. Ski mask to the stash when I'm kicking your doors in. I'm a pimp, pinky ring. Me came where the floor is. Fuck the world and get dough like my horse is. Y'all misdemeanor, this that felony flow. Picture me the G.I.M. my hotel if you know. Picture me the hustler I is, you selling me blow. Niggas try and shake me fast for them federal notes. Like rats for that cheese when that cheddar be low. I come rob you before I ever be broke. I got cruel intentions, smoking balling. Flew with sisters, did I mention got a crew of henchmen? We emerged from the gutter, came through the trenches. I'm getting high while I cruise on inches. 5-0 think I snooze, I sense them. If they trip at the ooze, convince them to get back. Before I rule, they listen. I'm from the land where it's kill or be killed. Fake niggas wanna know how I feel to be real. I can't explain with words. Through my actions got a train through nerves. I'm on point and my game's superb. Pussy niggas, man, I ain't concerned. Let them hate, I got chains to earn. My mind sick like my brain got germs. A couple hoes wanna contain my sperm. Tell me relax your head like you gave it a perm. I let it burn like I Ursha song. When they drink, push my thirst is on. Like the axis that the earth is on. I'm leaning. Watch the words when you chirp my phone. Cause one more striking for certain I'm gone. And I ain't having that. I'm in the chest like an asthma tech. Get ready cause the bastard's back and got cast as that. Fuck who can adapt to that. If you don't like it, nigga, grab a strap and we can get it on. My mama tell me go to church, say I'm living wrong. I said fuck going to school, I chose to get a zone. I'm getting money on my own, now I'm feeling grown. Standing candles in my room as I sit alone. But my mind ain't playing tricks on me. Fresh out of work, I got a grip on me. Police and man can't get a grip on me. Shit, streets got the grip on me. If niggas trip, pistol grip on me. I cock game and shoot. Blood spattering, stain my suit. You want a war, nigga, branded troops. And any pussy that hang with you, line them up, I bang them too. This what years in the game will do. Turn your heart cold. I scare niggas like a barcode. Show them how we ride like a car show. You ain't trying to get nothing with your star for. You got your chest poked out, but where your heart though? Yeah. This is the intro. Fresh off the stove, I done went in here and whipped up a batch of this. I inhale and drove to my lungs slow. I got 99 problems, not one is a dumb hoe. If it ain't about that paper, what the fuck did you come for? You ain't ready to shoot a nigga, what you reach for that gun for? Y'all pussy niggas make me sick. Every time that you mention my name, hope it tastes like dick. I wanna shoot you, but shit, why waste my clip? When I can stomp the shit out you, make you taste my kicks. You think I slip, but I'm strapped and you can't imagine how that thing fit perfect when my pants is sagging. And I smell like weed and my eyes is red, but I still see clearly, got my eyes on the bread. No surprise from the Fed, cause I live like they watching me. No get out of jail free, call like Monopoly. So my business make sure it's handled properly. I'm still on parole like Siegel on state property. 1 foot in, got 1 foot out, but still hold it down for SWAT. What your hood about? Mine's is money macking and murder. Now tell me what yours is. I came up the nappy head poor kid. Now I'm a little older, trying to even the score. Keep money too big for stats, gotta put it in stories. Fuck a bulletproof vest. When I aim for your forehead, bullets coming out the cake. Look like miniature warheads. Ain't no use in bad work if you ain't trying to score big. Ski mask to the stash when I'm kicking your doors. And I'm a pimp, pinky ring. Me came where the floor is. Fuck the world and get dough like my horse is. Now misdemeanor, this that felony flow. Picture me the G.I.M. my hoe telling me no. Picture me the hustler I is, you selling me blow. Niggas try and shake the feds for the federal nose. Be like rats for that cheese when that cheddar be low. I come rob you before I ever be broke. I got cruel intentions, smoking balming. Fluid senseless, did I mention got a crew of henchmen? We emerged from the gutter. Y'all know what's wrong with that. Picture me the hustler is, you selling me blow. Niggas try and shake the feds for them federal notes. We like rats for that cheese when that cheddar be low. I'll come rob you before I ever be broke. I got cruel intentions, smoking bombing. Flew with senseless, did I mention got a crew with history? We emerged from the gutter, came through the trenches. I'm getting high while I cruise on inches. 5-0, think I snooze, I sense it. If they trip, bet the ooze convince them to get back. Before I ruin they missing up on the land where it's killer be killed. Fake niggas wanna know how I feel it. I can't explain with words. Through my actions gotta train you nerves. I'm on point in my game superb. With pussy niggas, man, I ain't concerned. Let them hate, I got change to earn. My mind sick like my brain got germs. A couple hoes wanna contain my sperm. Tell them relax your head like you gave it a perm. Now let it burn like a Hershey song. When that drink quench my thirst to stone. Like the axis that the earth is on, I'm leaning. Watch them words when you chirp my phone. Cause one more striking for certain I'm gone and I ain't having that. I'm in their chest like an asthma attack. Get ready cause the bastard's back and got cash to stack. Fuck who can adapt to that. If you don't like it, nigga, grab a strap and we can get it on. My mama tell me go to church, say I'm living wrong. I said fuck going to school, I chose to get a zone. I'm getting money on my own, now I'm feeling grown. Staring at candles in my room as I sit alone. But my mind ain't playing tricks on me. Fresh out of work, I got a grip on me. Preaching man can't get a grip on me. Shit, streets got the grip on me. If niggas trip, pistol grip on me. I cock, aim, and shoot. Blood splattering, stain my suit. You want a war, nigga, bring your troops. And any pussy that hang with you. Line them up, I'll bang them too. This what years in the game will do. Turn your heart cold. I scan niggas like a barcode. Show them how we ride like a car show. You ain't trying to get nothing with your start though. You got your chest poked out, but where your heart low. I'm saying it got a good, it got all right. Look, Josh, and what? Yeah.
I can't really tell how great it looking, so I get it to the big screen.
Yeah, that's what. Say, boy,
yeah, come on.
Okay, well, we're here today with Jessica Broussard, an HR professional in the oil and gas industry here in Houston, Texas. And today Jessica's going to talk to us about resumes and how to make sure that we have a killer resume and leave a strong and positive lasting impression on our HR managers when we're applying for jobs. So Jessica, why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the things that HR professionals look for when they're sifting through the piles and piles of resumes?
One of the first things that are looked for is to make sure you reach or have experience in the required qualifications that are listed on the job description. Those are the things that make or break the position, so they want to make sure that you have the experience that they're looking for. So you have the years of experience, you have the system knowledge, if it's a program, that you have program knowledge and you're proficient in that knowledge. So you can actually, explain to them what you've done for that knowledge. So they're looking to make sure that you have the criteria that they've listed on the job offer.
Okay, so how important is it, so you're saying that it's important for an applicant to really put in those keyword phrases? Is that sort of what I'm getting that?
Yes, I would say the first thing you should do when you apply for a job is print out the job description and really read over the job description and see what it is that they are mentioning and what they have told you in the job description that the position is looking for, and also what are your required qualifications, and then highlight them or underline them and make sure that your resume reflects that you have that experience.
Okay. Now, when we were talking earlier, you kind of mentioned something about serial job applicants who apply for jobs over and over again.
Right.
And you can kind of, I guess, tell when you see a resume that's a serial applicant. Can you kind of talk a little bit about that?
Yes. When you apply for a job, be sure you're applying for a job that you're actually one of two things, both interested in and qualified for. If you just keep applying for jobs to maybe get your foot in the door, the recruiter is going to realize that that's what you're doing. So if you're applying for a job that has like 10 years experience and you're a new grad, obviously you just saw the title and was like, well, maybe I'll do this one. When you start doing that, they start taking you less seriously, and then when you might actually have applied for a job that you are interested in and you are qualified for, you might get looked over because you've applied for 5 other jobs that you weren't qualified for.
Okay. Now you just now touched on something that I wanted to ask you, which was if someone is applying for a job and they don't have the number of years experience that the job is requesting, so say I find a job online that says I need 5 to 7 years of experience, but I only have 4.
Right.
Should I still apply for that job? Do I have good chances of getting it or getting called in for an interview? What is your take on that?
You should definitely still apply for a job because a lot of times the experience that you have, a lot of people want to see that you have hands-on experience with the job. So if you can list in your resume or use your cover letter to explain how you would be a good qualified candidate for the position, even though you don't have the exact amount of years for it. And you can even kind of mention that, you know, while you don't meet the year requirement that's listed, you have done, and give examples of what you've done. So they'll know, okay, she might not have the 5 years, but she's done everything in 4 years that we're looking for someone who did it in 5 years.
Okay. Okay, another question for you. Okay, so if you had to choose sections of a resume, so going down the list from education, experience, skill sets, awards, honors, extracurricular activities, what would you say for fresh college graduates coming out of school are the most important sections of a resume to have listed?
Well, you definitely want to include your education and what it is you graduated with. If you have a BA or a BS, you know, let them know. And if you have a minor, or like I did communications, but it was public relations and journalism, if it's a specific, let them know it's, you know, because communications is very broad.
Okay.
So let them know specifically what your degree is in. Also, I would say your skill set, because being a fresh college grad, you might not have like what they consider real work experience. Like an internship is not always considered real work experience.
Okay.
You know, working a summer job while you made money and have work experience is not exactly what they're looking for. So show that you have, you know, your skill set. So if you are bilingual, let them know in what languages you're bilingual in. If you have proficient knowledge in Word, PowerPoint, and Excel, list that. And if you've ever done any programming or if you've ever dabbled into any other programs that are used in the office, list those. And also list if you got any awards and recognitions, because that shows them, you know, what kind of person you are. And then it also shows them what kind of activities and events that you've been a part of.
Okay. Okay, great. This is going really well. Okay. I wanted to ask you also about let's see, listing experiences. So sometimes I think people have a tendency to list their experiences, but maybe they don't do a great job of really showcasing the value that they brought to a company as a part of those experiences. Okay. How important is that?
It's important because your resume is kind of like your agent. So you are, or it's not really, well, okay, let me go with that. Your resume is like your agent, but it's a silent agent. So if you are a sports player, you have your agent out there saying, you know, Krista hits, you know, grand slams every time she's up to bat. She does all this great stuff. But so your resume is that person for you. So you need to, on your resume, list everything that sells you, because a lot of times that's the only thing you have. So if your resume doesn't make it past the recruiter, well, then it's not getting to the job owner and the HR manager. So you need to make sure everything you list is concise, it's listed grammatically correct, it's spelled correctly, and if you've answered the phones and filed papers, don't say, I answered the phone and I filed papers. You say you have great customer service experience, you know, by answering customers' questions over the phone or face-to-face, or providing customer service skills by, and listed that way. So make it concise, because as a new college grad, your resume should only be a page long.
Okay, so let's clear that up now for everybody. How long should your resume be?
Your resume should be a page long.
Okay, 1 page. So
1 page and normal margins, not all spaced out and crazy. And I would say Word has some good templates for resumes, but sometimes they make them a little too bubbly, or they make them too spacious, or stuff's too bold and underlined and blocked letters. Okay. You need it to be simple. top needs to have your name, your address, a good phone contact number, and an email address. And your email address needs to be a professional email address.
Okay, can we say that again?
Yes, it needs to be a professional email address. You have Yahoo, Google, everybody has free things. It could be your initials. It could be your name needs to be in there somewhere. So it could be like Jessica B@gmail.com. It does not need to be Cutie with the hot booty at something. We see those, and you know, maybe if you're applying for a job where you're flipping a burger, that's okay, and then honestly that's not okay anywhere. So it needs to be a professional email. I know when you graduate from college, sometimes you can get an alumni email from your school, or like at St. Thomas, I still have my St. Thomas email, and I've been out for quite some time. So a professional, and then it needs to be run smoothly, you know, bold and italicized your job titles that you've had and your years and your work experience and stuff, but it doesn't need to be, it needs to be black and white. It needs to be on a nice quality paper. It does not need to be like a note you would write your friends or an invitation. It needs to be very professional, very sleek, but yet very inviting for when people read it.
Okay, great. You also mentioned to me earlier today that, of course, when you're posting a job that's an open position, that you've got a period of time that you're allowing resumes to come in, and you get hundreds of resumes, and you're filtering those down. So can you sort of talk about that process and what makes a resume stand out to you? What are the things you're looking for, and how important it is for someone to sell themselves in the midst of this large, you know, I guess, pool of competition that they're up against?
Sure. So a job is usually posted for a 2-week or a month period, and once that posting closes, that's when the recruiter filters through the resumes. And since everything's online now, you know, you can't like provide a whole packet of information and make it look great. Now you have to do it in 2 things, a cover letter and a resume. So basically what you need to do, when I mentioned earlier, was print out the job description and really look over it. See what they're looking for, what it is that they're wanting and that they need in an applicant for this job. Because usually, I know in my company, a lot of time is spent on writing these job descriptions, and they need somebody who fits those to the T. Okay. And so basically you need to go through that job description, you need to highlight what you see is repetitive. If it's proficient in Excel, you need to be proficient in Excel. You need to, you know, list that on your resume at the top or under your skill set. Proficient in Excel, you know, if you've had certificates or if you've gone to training and you've had training, that needs to be listed. So truly understand what the job is looking for. And from there, make your resume reflect that you have the experience that they're looking for in the job. Your cover letter, I would say you should include a cover letter, because since this is your first attempt at getting a real job, as people will call it, your cover letter can sell you better. So your cover letter will let those people know, you know, I've done this is what I graduated with, this is what I have experience in, and then your resume backs that up with where the company was, you did that information, and how long you were there. So, but it does take a while, you know, between the time of the job posting to it closing, to people sending those resumes off to the business manager, to the job owners and business managers reviewing them, to you getting called in can take months.
Okay, so it's not unrealistic for someone to be in that job search process once they've submitted a resume until they get an actual callback, for it to take months. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
It takes months.
I think that's important to know, because sometimes we feel, you know, oh,
right, and it is very, because I remember when I was applying, it is very, you know, upsetting to know that you applied for a job 2 months ago and you still haven't heard back and it's still posted. But there is a posting period, and sometimes people don't take them down. Ours go off automatically, but sometimes you have to manually go on there and do that. And sometimes in the midst of all of it, especially if there are like 200 to 300 applicants, they start screening in advance. And if that posting is still up there, that means that in the screening that they've done previously, they have not found the person that they're looking for yet.
Okay. If you could think of the top 3 most important things that you could advise that you could give to our Dorming Room to Boardroom readers or viewers for their resume, top 3 things, pieces of advice, tips, what would they be?
To take your time with writing it. Don't see a job, slap together a resume, and send it off. Mm-hmm. Literally take your time, because as I mentioned, that's what sells you. That's what you have. To help you get the job. You're not able to, submit a recording or submit a packet of stuff that you have. Your resume is what you have. So truly take your time, write it, type it up, review it yourself, have somebody else review it, whether it be a friend or a family member, and tell them, no, just look at it and say, does this look okay? Because most people review it for, oh, she didn't spell that wrong, oh, that font's nice. Like, really review it for the content. And if you are the reviewer, ask people, well, what did you do in that role? Because that's what people are looking at. Well, okay, I see she interned with the Astros for a year, but what did she do while she was there? So if you say answer phones, that's not really telling me anything. So you just answer the phone. So to me, you're looking for more an administrative position. But if you were saying, you provided responses to tickets, callers, people calling for tickets, like truly list what you have actually done. So that was my first thing is take your time and truly write it and know that it is a very important document. 2 is list concisely but effectively list what you have done where you were, because most people who were in college, they either had an internship or had a summer job that has given them some work experience. So list concisely, but list what you did. So don't just say answered phones. Say provided customer service by providing both, responses to people on the phone and face to face about tickets or about cookies or wherever you worked at. And then just to make sure it's professional. It looks professional, it sounds professional, it flows together, your font is professional, your email address is professional, just making sure it looks professional. Because unfortunately in this day and time, people go by the way things look, and sometimes you can upload your actual resume and they see the actual resume, and sometimes it gets thrown into the system that kind of skews how things are going. And once you submit your resume, review it because once you upload it, sometimes it goes into the company's own format. Make sure it still looks right, and everything is still situated right, and it hasn't thrown all your bullet points off and your information off.
Okay, well that's definitely important to know. Okay, what's the craziest thing you've ever seen someone do on a resume that you reviewed?
Some people's resumes are really short. And they'll just list a job and they won't say what they've done. Some people have had some really inappropriate email addresses. Oh, really? Like extremely inappropriate with body parts listed.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Some people have, I worked at a company before, people could actually walk in and apply. It was in colored ink on colored paper. This is not an invitation.
Oh, wow.
It needs to be on white paper and black ink or really, really dark blue ink, but black is the best. But yeah, people don't take it seriously. So it needs to be truly drilled in that this is a professional document and it's an important document, and it's what you have to help you get that job that you want, so you can get more experience, so you can make a career.
Okay. Do you prefer to see a name centered on a resume, lefted, or right aligned?
I think it should be centered, and that's just my preference. I've seen them on the left. I've seen them on the right. I've seen them as headers. I think it should be centered, though. I think it flows well if you have your name and your contact information centered, and then you have left aligned your work experience or your education, and then you list your education in the middle. And then on the left you have your work experience, then you list your work experience in the middle. Skills and activity, or activities and reward recognitions, then bolded on this side, regular font in the middle. So I think it should be centered. If you left it or right it, it's not, you can have your name in the middle and then your contact information at the top right or something like that. You can, but I just find when it's in the middle, it's all, flows well down the page.
Okay. It's interesting because I like it centered actually myself. When I'm looking at them and you're looking at a pile, it's easier.
Yeah.
Okay. What other questions I want to ask? I want to ask you about, let me not forget this question. This is not related to resumes. This is our standard government boardroom question that we ask everybody. If you could choose, if you were given the option of $1 million or 365 days of vacation, which would you choose and why?
$1 million or 365 days of vacation. I would choose the $1 million because then I can have my 365 days of vacation. But I would choose $1 million because it's $1 million, first of all. And Also, you know, with that, I could do a lot of things. You know, if you have 365 days of vacation, you don't have any money. You don't have any income coming in. So granted, you don't have to go to work, but what can you do if you don't have any income coming in? So if I just have 365 days where I'm just sitting there. But $1 million, I could save some, I could invest some, I could take some trips, and then I could really enjoy my vacation when my vacation comes around at work. $7 million.
Well, that sounds very logical.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, so I just wanted to remember to ask that question. Okay. The next question I'm going to ask you is about people who actually get called in for resumes, or from their resumes, for an interview. So I'm trying to think here.
Well, I can start and then
just talk about it. Yeah, okay.
First thing, usually, especially if you're applying to a big company, if your resume makes it through the screening process, the second thing is that you get, or the first thing that you get, is a phone screen. So if you made it past the paper screen and I've sent your resume off to the job owner and they're like, oh yeah, Krista looks good, you know, call her and see. If you make it through that process, when they call you, know your resume, because they're going to ask you questions about your resume. So know your resume and know the job description, because based on the things that you have listed on your resume, they're going to ask you questions that coincide with what's listed on the job description. So if you're pausing and on and what and I don't remember, don't ever say you don't have an example. It might be a simple example, it could be a made up example, but always provide a response to the question. So if you know you've applied for a job and you are interested in that job and you feel this is a job for me, I'm gonna get this, know your resume and know that job description. So that when that person calls you and he or she is talking to you and they're asking you questions, yeah, you have it in front of you, but you are confident in your responses. Because a lot of times the way you respond to those people and the way you react to that phone interview can also make or break you. Because they're like, okay, well, she said she had this stuff, but when I asked her questions, she didn't have any responses for me, or she didn't have any examples. They always want to hear examples. Give me an example of a time when you had, you know, this, that, or the other. How did you handle, what happened? How did you handle it? How could you have done it better? So be sure you know what's listed on there and you know what you've done in the past and you really know what's going on. Okay. Because they will ask you questions. It's like being interviewed before you're being interviewed. Okay. So they're not to be taken lightly, I guess is the best way to put it. Like that is like, a lot of times, especially in the big companies, that's your first step. You go through that phone screen, and then from that phone screen, that recruiter's like, okay, this person seems like they know what's going on, they gave me good examples, they were really confident in their responses, you know, let's take her to the next step.
Okay. Now that brings me to another point of being honest and truthful in your resume. So yes. It is, I think, for some people, it is convenient or may seem appealing to sort of adjust the truth on your resume. Right. So can you kind of speak to that, the importance of, you know, being honest on your resume? Do people do HR, does HR fact check? You know, is it possible for someone to get caught in sort of a little bit of a...
Yes. Do know that if you say you have a bachelor's...
Okay, start over.
Sorry, I did kind of... do know that if you have a bachelor, if you say you have a bachelor's, they're going to check, they're going to verify. If you say you've worked somewhere, they're going to call and check your reference, well, your work history. If you say you're proficient in Excel, they're going to ask for examples, or they might call you in and give you an Excel test. So if you have never even opened an Excel spreadsheet, don't say you're proficient in Excel, because if you're proficient, that means you know how to open it, create it, make charts from it, do all this stuff, and they're going to want you to know that, or you're going to get hired on, and the person's going to be like, I need these 5 spreadsheets filtered, sorted, you know, what all these pivot charts and tables and all this stuff, and you're just going to be looking at them, you know, wide-eyed, and they're going to be like, you said you knew how to do this. So don't start off your job application process with lies, because it's just going to snowball into something. If you're not proficient in something, or you don't have a lot of experience in it, you know, just say you have like fair experience with it, but willing to learn. Let the people, or, you know, write on your resume or your cover letter that you're willing to learn more, that you've had a little bit of experience with, say, like PowerPoint, but you're willing to learn more. Or if you see that you applied for a job that closed on, that's posted till the end of next month. In that time, Google or YouTube how to create a PowerPoint, or go to the library or go to the bookstore and get a book on how to do stuff. But always list what you know, because they're going to ask you, not only they're going to ask you about it, they're going to want examples of it, and they might even test you over it.
Okay. Well, I think that's great information. Yeah, I've never lied or adjusted the truth.
Right. But
on a resume. But yeah, they do that. So I want to make sure that we cleared that up. Let's see. I'm trying to think. We've covered a lot.
Well, you asked about if you get called in, so I started with the phone screens. Do you want me to go more into like an interview?
No, because I want you to say that, because I'm going to interview you on interviews.
Okay.
In a couple weeks. Okay. I'm trying to think what other resume stuff did I have? Because those are the big things. The length of the resume, we covered the name and email addresses, which is big. We covered listing, which were the important sections to list. We were talking about volunteer work. So how can, if I don't have a lot of work experience, for example, maybe I have some volunteer experience, is that beneficial for me to list that volunteer experience?
Yes.
Okay.
Because people want to know that you're not only an employee, but you have, I guess you could say you have like a big heart. Like you, not only are you concerned about the well-being for yourself, but you're concerned about the well-being for others. Like the company I work at, we have what's called a Humankind campaign. And during that time, we basically strive as a company to reach so many volunteer hours by volunteering at the food bank, by volunteering with Habitat for Humanity, by planting trees, by, and if you have a organization that you volunteer at, or you want to, have more people become aware about the organization, you're able to do that. So yeah, it's really important that people see, it shows you as a well-rounded person. It shows that, you're willing to make the grades and take the classes and get the experience, but also that it's important to give back to the community. And so, like we went to the food bank, and you think, oh, people just put food in the boxes and they just hand it out. No, there's this whole process. You have to inspect the food. You have to shake it all out. You have to clean it off, because when stores donate it, it's just chunked in a basket. So there's a lot that goes into that. And it also, gives you a different perspective of things when you're able to take a step back and, be a part of that. So yeah, definitely list your volunteer experience. If you had any extracurricular activities that you did with your school, or you got awards, or if you got any recognitions for anything you did, list everything that you have, everything that's pertinent, but that you have done that you feel is important to, basically signify you as a person. So they want to see that you're an applicant also, but you also want to see that there's a person behind that. Because what part of our information that we get told when we're processing offers is, think of this as a person, not just a piece of paper. So while you're wanting to list what you've done, that is in regards to the job description, you also want to show that, this is what else I do. This is where else I offer. Because a lot of companies are big about volunteer hours, or they have, campaigns. There's another oil and gas company that's right down the street from us that they have a whole day, where they let all their employees off and they get together and they go to Habitat for Humanity and they build houses. So they want to know that if something like that comes up, you're not going to be like, I'm not going to that. They want to know that you're a well-rounded person. And you don't have to go to everything, like once you do get hired on, you get to choose what you want to do, but they do want to know that you will be active and involved and things like that.
Okay. Now I'm going to take a second to pause and make sure that we still have tape on this one before I start done. This is going great because of Jessica.
I'm glad. I feel very professional.
Yes.
Informative.
Yes. Okay. So let's see. All right, we have 2 minutes, so I think I'm going to stop the tape there.